Hello student, we are discussing here the chapter number 9 of the class 5. The name of this chapter is soil. So this is our second video, and in the previous class we had already discussed about the importance of the soils and the different type of the soils. So in today we will be discuss the formation of the soils and the soil profile, how the soil will be formed. Okay, so you will be see generally soil is formed by the large stones. So large stones is the parent materials of the soils. So when the large rocks, large stones, they will be break down into the fine particles, small particles, then soil will be formed. So this process generally take the more than 1,000 years. Maybe it can take the 10,000 years. On what process? Just breaking down the large stone, because it will be break down automatically, because there are some weathering effect will be affect. What is the weathering? Weathering effect means the temperature, someday temperature is very high, someday temperature is very low, someday rain will fall, someday rain will not fall. So all these kind of the conditions will affect on the large stones, and it will be help to break down it into the fine particles. When this large stone break down into the small particles, after few years these fine particles convert into the soil. So I think you get the meanings how the soil is formed. Soil is generally formed from the major rock or large rock. Okay, so this is process is generally known as the decaying process. Decaying matters that also help in the making soils and thick and rich, and most of the outer part or upper part of the surface of earth, these are made by the soil. If I'm making the picture of the earth, suppose assume this is the surface of the earth. Okay, so this upper part of the surface, this generally made by the soil, but inside of this part they are generally made by the large stones, and other minerals will be found inside the earth's surface. So only outer parts is known as the formation of the soil. So I think you got the meanings. You will be see here in the soil profiles. So what is the meaning of the soil profile? Soil profile, it is a complete profile, complete pictures how our soil is formed and what is inside our the soil. So if you will be see in these pictures, our soil, or we are classifying our soil into the few groups. First is known as the organic layer. Organic layer is the upper layer of our earth surface. Then the second layer is known the topsoil, third is known the subsoil, and fourth is the parent material, and fifth is the bedrocks. So bedrock is the large rock materials. Firstly, we know that these large materials, they will be converted into the fine particles, small particles, and after few years these small particles will be converted into the soil. So you have to remember these fine particle is known as the parent materials or large stones. Okay, so these parent materials is convert from the bedrock, and after this parent materials that will be convert into the subsoil. So you have to remember we classify the soil into the few classification, few groups. So you have to remember the uppermost soils, the upper part of the soil. We are saying here organic layers. Organic layers, most of the plants is grown in the organic layer. Organic layer is the upper layer, because that are highly rich in the nutrients and all the. Suppose if we are sowing as seeds, अगर हम seeds को बो रहे, so it will be done in the organic layers, and after this organic layers we have seen the topsoil. And you have to remember the upper layer of the topsoil, it contains the lot of humidity, lot of minerals, lot of organic compound, and which are essential to grow any plants. So plants is required the minerals, food, humidity, everything. So definitely they will be contained in the topsoil. So we can say topsoil providing all kind of the nutrition to plants. Okay, so majorly we have seen the root of the plants. Generally most of the plants roots is grown in the topsoil. So you will be see there are some plant is grown here and its roots is grown in the topsoil regions. So इनकी जो प्लांट्स की रूट है वो टॉप सोइल रीजन में ग्रो करती है. और रीजन क्या है? क्योंकि टॉप सोइल जो टॉप सोइल है वो कंटेन्स करती है हाई अमाउंट ऑफ द न्यूट्रिशंस. जो प्लांट्स को न्यूट्रिशन चाहिए वो इसके अंदर प्रेजेंट होंगे. बट द इनसाइड ऑफ दिस टॉप सोइल यू विल बी सी द सबसोइल. सो सबसोइल आर द जस्ट these are the dense or like dark in the colors. Okay, why? Because the subsoils contains the organic matter in the less quantity, and it is the light in the colors. Root are the some plants is also grown in these layers. So we can say those plants which are very long, so definitely its root will also grow inside this प्लांट्स और इनसाइड द सोइल। सो जो ज्यादा बड़े प्लांट्स होंगे उनकी रूट्स भी ज्यादा नीचे तक ग्रो करेगी। सो इन दिस कंडीशंस द रूट्स विल बी जनरली सी इट्स ग्रोन इन द सबसोइल पार्टिकल्स और सबसोइल लेयर। ओके, सो जो बड़े प्लांट्स हैं उनके सबसोइल लेयर्स में भी ग्रो करती है। नाउ द फोर्थ इज यू नो द बेडरॉक आर द पेरेंट मटेरियल्स ऑफ द सोइल। This bedrock or the parent material both are the same because they are the form of the stones, and stones are the very less in the organic matters, nutrition. So definitely the plants will not be grow in this layers, and it is very low level depth at the soil surface. So I think you got the meaning of it. Now you will be see the question is here, why is the topsoil dark in the colors? Because topsoil contains the all nutrients. It is highly rich in the nutrients, minerals and the organic substance, and a plant is require all these things. plants को organic compound, nutrients, minerals सब कुछ चाहिए और वो सब present होता है top soil के अंदर, इसीलिए उसका color dark होता है। I think you got the meaning of it. Now we will be discuss the soil erosion. Erosion means removal of the topsoil. Okay, topsoil, how it can be removed? It can be removed by the wind, waters and the some other elements. These are the factors of the removal of the topsoil. That is known the soil erosion. So you have to remember, if the topsoil will be removed out from the soil, so definitely it will be affect on the growth of the plant, because topsoil contains are all the nutrients, organic substance which are essential to grow for the plants. If that will be washed out, it will be blow away from the wind and the waters, definitely our soil will become loss in the nutrients. It will be affect the fertility, loss of the soil fertility, because as we know the all minerals, all the nutrients, they will be go or washed out by the wind or the waters. So you have to remember there are some factors which are responsible for the soil erosion. Firstly, we will be discuss the wind, how it can be responsible. Sometimes when the wind, strong winds means, I think you know that those winds which speed is very high. So in the desert area we have seen very frequently. So these winds will be blow away the soil particles, the top soil particles, which it will be blow away from the topsoil. So definitely it will be reducing the soil fertility and it will be affect the growth of plant. So we can say the wind is also responsible for the soil erosions. And the another factor is the water. So you have to remember, sometimes when the heavy rain is the fall, so what will be happens? The heavy rains will be cause the large amount of the waters. So these water will be washed out the topsoil of the topsoil. So definitely topsoil contains the high number of the nutrients, organic substance, they will be washed out. So it will be affect on the soil fertility. So it will also cause the soil erosion. So I think you got the meanings. Most of the times we have seen on the hilly areas, it seen the very frequently, because water cause the soil erosion. Most of the soil particles is just washed out by the waters. Okay, now the another factor you will be see like the overgrazing. What is the meaning of the grazings? Grazings, when we allow our cattle to eat the plants from the feed. So if you will be see, this is the picture of the grazings. Okay, so when we are allowing our cattle to feed up from a same type of the region or same regions, that will be known the overgrazing. अगर हम अपने cattles को, cattles means जो भी हमारे animals हैं which we are using for as a farming, like the buffalo, cow, goat and sheep, they are known the cattles. So when we are allow our cattles to feed or grazing at the same place, okay, again and again, so what will be happen? They will be eat all the grass, all the tiny plants. Then what will be happens? The number of the plants will be decreased and our soil will not be hold tightly, because the soil particles is hold tightly by the root of the plant. If plant will be not be there, so soil particles will easily wash out by the wind or the airs. अगर प्लांट्स नहीं होंगे हमारे सरफेस पे, अर्थ सरफेस पे, सो डेफिनेटली जो हमारी रूट्स हैं वो भी नहीं होंगी, और रूट्स ही हमारी सोइल पार्टिकल्स को होल्ड करती हैं। अगर प्लांट्स नहीं तो जो हमारे सोइल पार्टिकल्स हैं वो इजिली वॉश आउट हो जाएंगे विंड से या वाटर से। तो आई थिंक यू गेट द मीनिंग्स। प्लांट इज मोर इसेंशियल to protect from the soil erosions. Second cause you will be see the deforestation. If we will cut all the plants, if we are cutting in the axis, okay, so we are talking about the axis cutting down the plants, so what will be happens? Axis cutting, definitely their roots will not be able to hold the soil particles, so these soil particles can be easily washed out. So in the same way, अगर plants नहीं होंगे, then it will be cause the soil erosion. So how it can be, what are the factors? Overgrazing is the factors, deforestation is the factors, and other factor is the poor farming method. And how poor farming method is affect on the soil erosion? Suppose there are some crops and which require some proper or specific nutrients. Suppose अगर कोई plants है और उसको एक specific nutrients चाहिए, but if we are not providing them, so definitely they will not be get proper amount of the nutrients and they will be affect their growth. It will be affect their growth. So वो growth affect करेगी. So यानी कि यहाँ पर क्या होगा, हमारे plants properly grow नहीं करेंगे and it will be also affect in the soil erosion because the roots of the soil will be affected. Okay, अगर plant healthy grow करेगा, so definitely it will be help in the soil conserve. The soil particles will be conserved easily. So I think you get the meanings how the soil erosions will be done. There are some factors like the wind, waters, in other factor we discussed, overgrazing, deforestation, and the poor farming method. And here is a question is given: Ramu take his cattle to graze at the different place Delhi, and the why? Because if he will graze the cattle at the same place, it will be cause the soil erosion, because these cattle will be eat all the grass, all the tiny plants from a particular regions or particular place. Okay, so this place will be cause the और दिस प्लेस विल बी अफेक्ट फॉर द सोइल इरोजन. तो यानी कि जो भी प्लेस है वहाँ के सारे प्लांट्स अगर वो प्लांट्स एनिमल्स ईट कर जाएंगे तो वहाँ पर क्या होगा, सोइल इरोजन जैसी कंडीशंस हो सकती है. Now we will be talk about the soil conservation. So there is a word is used, the conservation. Conservation's meaning to protect out, to secure out. How we can be protect of a things. We are talking about the soil. So how we can be protect our soils? Okay, as we know that the soil is protected or soil is hold together, so hold tightly by the root of the plants. If we are planting more in our surface of the soil, definitely it will help in the soil conservation. अगर हम plants ज़्यादा लगाएंगे, so plants की जो roots हैं वो soil को tightly hold करेंगे and it will be help in the soil conservation. So I think you got the meanings how we can be help in the soil conservation if we plant more and more trees. Second, you will be see here that to prevent the soil erosion on the hilly area, terrace farming is done. So what is the meaning of the terrace farmings? We are just using or we are just applying we are just making the soil in a form of the terrace like a stair form. So what will be the effect on this soil erosion? Because we know that on the regular surface, on the slope surface, water will be moved down with a high speed and there are the higher chance to remove or wash out the upper layer of the soil. But in the case of the terrace farmings, the speed of the waters will be reduced by making them stairs. Then it will be easy or it will be help to protect the soil. So when we are talking about the soil conservations, so we generally use the terrace farming. So I think you have seen these kind of the farming is generally done in the hilly regions like the Assams, like the northeast regions, some part of the North India, because it is reduce the speed of the flowing water. Now the second you will be see the cattle grazing on the small piece of the land should be avoided. And how we can be avoid? Because if we are allow our cattle to graze on a large surface area, okay, and we are allowed to again we are not allowed to graze at the same place. Okay, सपोज करो अगर आज हमने अपने एनिमल्स को एक अलग फील्ड के अंदर ग्रेज किया, सेकंड डे हमने दूसरी फील्ड के अंदर ग्रेज किया, थर्ड डे थर्ड फील्ड के अंदर ग्रेज किया, सो इट विल प्रोवाइडिंग टू सफिशिएंट टाइम्स टू ऑल दिस प्लांट टू ग्रो अप. तो जो भी हमारे प्लांट्स हैं उनको ग्रो करने में सफिशिएंट टाइम मिलेगा एंड इट विल नॉट बी अफेक्टेड बाय द सोइल इरोजन. यहाँ पर सोइल इरोजन नहीं हमें देखने को मिलेगा. ओके, हम अवॉइड करेंगे. नाउ द फोर्थ यू विल बी सी द बिल्डिंग एम्बैंकमेंट. So you have to remember the meaning of the embankment is a kind of wall or side wall. Okay, we generally make a side wall on the water source, on the rivers. Okay, so we are not making them on the like what we say lake or pond. We generally build the embankment on the river because river has a flowing waters. Okay, so sometimes in monsoon regions the river levels is very high, so they are the higher chance to flow this river water in the field area, in the outer area. So we are making a wall in the corners, in the bank of the rivers. So it will also help in the preventing the soil erosions. And the next method we can use, the trees are planted in a row. So in these pictures you will be see we just planted the trees in a long row. So it is also help to protect the, yes, protect the soil particles, because it will be protect from the winds. If the winds will be coming from these directions, so they will be reduce the speed of the wind and it will be protect our field soil. So it can be remove, or we can say it can be protect from the erosion of the soil by the wind. So I think you got the meaning of it. Now if you have any doubt you can ask me. So thank you students.